welcome to this very short, I guess kind of tutorial on connecting to your lower abdominals. So your lower abdominals are really, really important in support for your low back, very, very important for support around the hips and the pelvis. And increasingly what I see quite a lot in one-to-ones in group classes is that we are very good at recruiting through our upper abs, but we tend to forget that space that's below the belly button. So that line between the belly button and the pubic bone. And I think a lot of that could be down to this cue that we use quite a lot, and I use it as well, which is belly button to spine. It's a very good cue, but I think it sort of draws your attention to that immediate space around where your belly button is, and then you become really focused on drawing back the abdominal wall within that kind of frame of reference, which is great, and that's an excellent way to pick up your transverse abdominals and that core around the around your center. But if we're thinking of it from, or coming at it from being maybe a little bit more mindful, we have to remember that actually our abdominals and that area of our core is a big area, and it sort of starts, you know, at the last rib, and it goes all the way down to the pubic bone. So that whole area around your waist, and above and below the belly button. And the way I've been trying to explain it, particularly in one-to-ones, is it can be sometimes helpful to think of your abdominals in three parts. So you've got your upper abs, your middle abs, and then your lower abs. And we're really good, like I say, at connecting through that, you know, that upper abs, sometimes a little bit too much, and we can grip there a little too much and forget that really important part that sits below the belly button down to the pubic bone. So we seem to be fine with the middle abs as well. So upper and middle, again, I think that cue belly button to spine can be very helpful. However, to pick up, or the purpose of this video is to help you pick up those really important set of abdominal muscles that sit underneath the belly button, like I say, down towards that pubic bone. So very, very important part of the core, and we're going to have a little look at how you can do that using two pieces of equipment. One is the big physio ball, if you're lucky enough to have one at home. I'll just quickly show you. It's this ball. And fear not, if you don't have that sort of size of ball at home, you can use the Pilates overball for this as well. So two options there. You will actually need a ball to do this exercise though. So let's take a little look first of all of how we might do it on the big ball. So this is a really nice, easy exercise on the big ball. And I'll show you in a little second how to do it on the little ball, so don't worry. You're going to just come to sit nice neutral, don't overthink it, but you know, that nice neutral position of the pelvis right up on the sit bones. We're hip distance and parallel with the legs. You can take them a little bit wider if it feels more supportive. All we're going to do is tuck our tailbone underneath us, initiating with the lower abs. So think about almost that sequence of movement. When you do tuck under, it's the lower abs that engage first, and then you come to the middle, and then you come to your upper abdominals. That's the pattern of movement that I kind of want you to focus on in this exercise. And then after that, it becomes very, very easy, very, very simple. All you're going to do is roll the ball using the lower abdominals first to tuck that tailbone underneath you. You flattening out your lumbar here, so you get that nice curve in your lumbar spine. Deep abdominal connection, and then release, coming straight back up on top of the sit bones. If you want to do it with the arms out in front of you, then you can relax your shoulders nice and wide in the collarbones, tuck in underneath. Make sure that everywhere else around your hips is soft. So you shouldn't be engaging your hip flexors, you shouldn't be engaging your glutes or anything like that. Hip rotators. Think lower abdominals to initiate the move. Tuck that tailbone underneath you. Keep it really small. Drawing the abdominals back, and then release all the way back up on top of the sit bones. Let me show you how we do it on the small ball. So on the small ball, it's a little bit more, you still get the same sensation, but it can be a little bit more, just a little bit trickier, because you have to use your hands essentially to sort of balance on a little bit. So it's a little bit more low through the wrist if you've got any sort of tenderness through the wrist joints and in the hands and things like that. But if you don't, then also great way to train the lower abs. So exactly the same. You're going to come sit on your little overball. Just bring your hands behind. So just a comfortable position with the hands. You don't have to worry about the fingers being forward or anything like that. It's more about training that lower abdominal set. So a little bit of support, nice and wide with the legs or hip distance and paddle, whatever feels comfortable. And it's the same thing. So you might find that you've got to start up on your hands, your fingers, a little bit of support there. And again, initiating from the lower part of the abdominal. So before you even move, start to think about that space between the pubic bone and the belly button. Really visualize that in your head. So lower abs, then you're going to come up towards the belly button, then you're going to come up more towards just under the rib cage. So with that in mind, it's the same thing. You can use a breath pattern or you can just focus and do it. So you're just rolling the ball underneath you, tailbone underneath you, and then you're going to release back. And then you can, if you want, try it without the use of your hands. So remember to come back up on top of the sit bones. That's really, really, really important. You might need to fiddle around with the legs a little bit. And it's a little bit more compressive in the hip joints because you're lowered down. So you'll see the angle here, whereas on the ball, your angle of your leg, your femur bone here is at a right angle. So it's maybe a little bit more comfortable if you've got any hip discomfort on the big ball. So again, thinking of spiraling up through the crown of the head when you're ready, thinking of tucking that tailbone underneath you, engaging those lower abdominals first to draw that tailbone underneath the seat. And then you're going to release back up. So again, with this one, a little bit more of a challenge to not grip through the upper thighs and through the hips. Okay, so just be really mindful of that. Any gripping suggests that you're not really getting that deep core engagement. And then you need to do this exercise then a lot more, or you need to go back to the mat and just focus on doing abdominal hollowing, thinking of picking up through the lower abs, belly button up to the upper abs. So hope you find this helpful. Do leave me a comment, and if you try it, if you find it a little bit more helpful to pick up those lower abdominals, get more connected to the body, then I'd love to know. I'll see you back on your mat soon.